Well, Dragon Folk, it's that time of the month. No. Not that time of month. It's Secret Lair time. Hey there, Dragon Folk. How are y'all doing today? Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. I know I am. Very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to see all of the fantastic, cool art that is now going to be released in the new October Superdrop that's coming for the Secret Lair from Magic the Gathering. Now, obviously, with all the stuff that's been happening with Wizards, nobody wants to hand them their money, and that's totally understandable. But for those of you who do appreciate art and appreciate pretty much the effort that's been put into this additional, essential supplementary reprint-esque thing, this may be something for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy this specific thing. I'm going to move my camera so I'm absolutely out of the way here. And then we can go ahead and start with the video. So as you can see here with the Super Drop of the October Super Drop, we'll go ahead and move it right. There it is, the October Super Drop, right? So the October Super Drop is going to contain a lot of stuff here. We're going to go over each individual thing, but I want it to be known that there are a lot of bundles, right? And if you want to buy every single one of these bundles, it's going to cost you a little bit, right? You're looking at about almost $275, $280 plus with tax. You're looking at about $120 after tax. You're looking at about almost $200 with tax, maybe like $190 with tax. And these are all discounted. These are all discounted prices. So I'm not sure why they're discounted. Maybe because they're only going to be on there for a short amount of time. Normally they're on there for at least almost like a month and a half. But these are going to be on here for 27 days and 15 hours as of the making of this video. So if this is something that you want to go check out, you can go ahead and see the link down in the comments below, and that is where you'll be able to find it. So we're going to go over these things in the order of how they're shown, but just realize that these first two Secret Lairs, are one bundle that you can buy. So if you just wanted these Post Malone Secret Lairs, you can buy them both in just the Post Malone bundle. They come foil and non-foil. And then the next ones are going to be the Warhammer ones, which we'll go over, these next three. And that is going to be located in foil and non-foil in the Warhammer bundle. And then the rest of them outside of these, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, the rest of these, Secret Lairs are going to be located in the big foil bundle or the big non-foil bundle. Now, the big foil bundle does include all of the ones that are only foil, whereas the big non-foil bundle skips a few of these products simply because they are not foil. So first we're going to start off with the ones that I'm least excited for, although the cards themselves are actually not too bad. You have the Post Malone Secret Lair. Now this is something I didn't talk about when it was first leaked because frankly I wanted to make sure that the cards were at least going to be good or that something was actually going to go and become worth it, I guess. Post Malone has had a huge tie-in with Magic the Gathering for a little while now. He's practically the celebrity spokesperson of Magic the Gathering. But he has gone and gotten himself his own Secret Lair. And what his Secret Lair is, it's essentially just a bunch of different arts, new arts for these cards, essentially skins for older cards too. So, for instance, here we have Post Son of Rich, which is a Kirk son of Yawgmoth. And so it's the same ability as Kirk son of Yawgmoth. It's just instead of the picture being the son of Yawgmoth, it is instead Post Malone with a microphone. Then you have Post Citadel, which is actually Bolus's Citadel. Same effect and everything. It's just art that depicts Post Malone. Same deal with Post Sigil. It's Leshrock's Sigil. And it's got the same effect as Leshrock's Sigil. It just specifically has, new art and a new sub name. It's not so if you were ever able to use this card in a tournament, it is Leshrock's Sigil for all intents and purposes. But it is, It is just a skin, essentially, much like the Godzilla cards that you saw in the Ikoria set, or the Dracula cards from Crimson Vow. And of course, a Jet Medallion for Post Malone. And this is just a new art. It's the same deal. This isn't a skin for Jet Medallion. This is just a Jet Medallion, and it is in a new art. So that is the Post Malone. It's actually like the big stuff, right? The only other thing he has here is the Post Malone Basic Lands. So this is all new art for lands in Magic the Gathering. It is essentially all like specific areas that you probably have seen in lands previously before, but these have been graffitied on and drawn over, right? As seems like something Post Malone would do. They also do not do just anything. It's not just a tap for whatever, right? These are all basic lands. They tap for their colors as necessary. And they all have little Post Malone signature art and little signature stuff at the bottom of each of these. So there's a little butterfly down here at the bottom of Plains. Jace is on the bottom of an island. I Heart Liliana and a bunch of Mr. Vest Post is on the swamp. Then you have some, I believe that's a goblin in red. And then, of course, I believe that's probably a goose. And it's just a Post Malone signature in the bottom here. So little fun stuff, right? I don't think these are all obviously like authentic because this is Post Malone's signature in every single one of these things. But are they going to be like the most amazing thing ever? Probably not. If you like Post Malone a lot and you really like the Secret Lairs, this might be something for you. But these are 5 basic. You only get 5 basic lands. You only get 5, and they cost $29.99 for regular and $39.99 for the foil version. So do keep in mind that you are paying $40 for 5 basic lands if you're getting them in foil. So they do look to be in that old retro frame, which is kind of neat, but definitely not crazy about them, right? I think it's kind of a waste. The next ones we have are the Warhammer stuff. So the Warhammer decks came out on the 7th, I believe, and those decks have essentially been bought out of just about every store. Their prices are skyrocketing as the days go on. And there was telling that there was going to be more Warhammer cards in these Secret Lairs. So these Secret Lairs were then announced and spoiled, but now they are officially ready for pre-order. Our first set is actually the Orcs, the Space Orcs. So Orcs is one of the factions in Warhammer 40K, and I could go on and on about the Orcs. I think they're really, really fun and really cool. But frankly, I don't need to go into too much detail. Essentially, just imagine these are all really fast, nasty goblin orc creatures, right? So that's kind of the concept. But some of these are skins, and some of them are just alternate arts. So, for instance, you have Orc Commando, which is a alternate art of Merciless Executioner. It's a skin. You also have Aggravated Assault. Makuri the Lucky Grot is a skin for Krenko's Tin Street Kingpin, which I don't believe is the Krenko that people use as a commander. I could be wrong, though. Then Gazgul, Prophet of the Wog, is the skin for Zergo Helm Smasher, one of the popular aggro-heavy commanders for that format. And then you have Davolcha, which is a skin for Sky Sovereign. Is that Consul Flagship? Yeah. Consul Flagship. So I don't actually know what that Sky Sovereign card is. I've never seen that before, but it is a vehicle. And whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls and crew 3. So not too bad. Obviously deal damage, right? That's a big thing that orcs are into. It's a lot of like fast-paced damage. Think a lot like mono red. If mono red is essentially just orcs, right? And the fun thing is that red is their like, I don't know. There's a whole funny thing with orcs because orcs are psychic species that are so dumb that they're actually like insanely dangerous and intelligent. They think that if they paint anything red, it will go fast. And because they think it, and they're so incredibly psychically tuned, it does in fact go fast. So it is funny that most of these cards are in red because that sounds like something orcs would just do. So this is the orc secret lair. Then we go ahead and move on to the Age of Sigmar secret lair. Age of Sigmar is another kind of like almost like an expansion-esque to Warhammer 40k, if I recall correctly. And this is going to contain a lot more skins of stuff and some really, really cool art. I mean, just look at this blind obedience. Like, what in the world? This is sick. This is so sick. And not only that, but it's also an amazing card, right? Extort artifacts and creatures your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. Neve Black Talon is a skin for Daneth the Capuchin Paragon. Then you also have Archeon the Ever Chosen, which is Najila the Blade Blossom. Just a quick little thing for that. Just look at the detail of the art on these things. Like the Age of Sigmar ones alone are enough for me to want to get these. You also have the Star Drake, which is a Scourge of the Throne skin, another fantastic looking card. And it's same deal. It's just Scourge of the Throne, but in a different skin. And then Galmaraz, the Great Shatterer, is the Loxodon Warhammer. So it almost looks like the exact same picture, except it's obviously not a Loxodon holding this thing. And, it's got some flavor text down there. It's pretty cool. So I think this is probably a really, really good one to get. This art is just so beautiful and well done. I honestly think it's great. This, along with the Orc one, very cool. This next one, I'm a little indifferent about, but it is the Blood Bowl secret lair. So Blood Bowl is kind of like a sports game that Warhammer 40k has. It's almost like football, but a lot more death, if I recall correctly. And these are all just skins of cards that exist already. So you have Touchdown, which is a skin of Approach of the Second Sun. Reroll, which is a skin of Rewind. Both Down, which is Bone Splinters. Throw Teammate, which is Fling. And Perfect Defense, which is Defense of the Heart. Now, these are very pretty looking cards, and they do look cool. But I believe most of these cards are pretty easy to come across these days. I know Defense of the Heart just got a reprint in the list, I think. Approach of the Second Sun has been printed a few times. Rewind, Blown Spinners, Fling. A lot of these aren't too difficult to find, but getting them in this art is going to be pretty cool. It's a unique little thing, There's got some flavor to them, and if you liked Blood Bowl, this is definitely going to be one for you. I don't know too much about Blood Bowl, so I can't exactly say that this is something that I'm going to pick up, but I do think it is very neat. Now we're going to move on to the last little bit here. This is the last 6, and there's technically 8, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. So first you have If Looks Could Kill. This is a secret lair that is done by the artist Jack Hughes, who I apologize, Jack. I don't know what work you did previously, but these are the cards that Jack has chosen for their secret lair. So Azami, Lady of Scrolls, Liliana of the Dark Realms, getting a reprint in this fantastic, beautiful art. I love the color palette. This very it's almost like pastel goth in a way. Definitely more pastel than goth, but it's very retro in its own little sense. Reflector Mage getting a reprint here, and Adaptive Automaton, which is a really good card for tribal, mind you. So the fact that this is getting a reprint is pretty neat, and in a very pretty, a very pretty looking card. Definitely could be one to pick up if you like this art a lot. I think I do a lot. I like Azami. I think most of these are actually really, really good looking. Those colors really pop in there, but I don't know too much about the use of all of these cards except Adaptive Automaton. So that one is probably the most wanted out of all this, but I think Liliana of the Dark Realms, I'm pretty sure, is one of the worst Lilianas. So it is unfortunate that it got a reprint in this, but it does look really cool, so I'll take it. And the next one here is probably one of the most, probably going to be one of the most bought. I don't know how many anime fans we have out in the crowd, but Junji Ito, a famous manga artist, known for his dark horror theme art, has come out with a secret lair. And this is really cool because a lot of these cards, very, very, it looks like he just took full advantage of the scare factor in every single one of these cards. So, of course, you have Carrion Feeder. I mean, just look at that thing. Carrion Feeder can't block, sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Carrion Feeder. Fantastic beginning zombie creature, so it's going to be great in zombies. You also have Doomsday, which is 3 black and a sorcery. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen card on top of your library in any order. You lose half your life rounded up. So, pretty interesting stuff for Doomsday. I mean, look at this little devil guy up here. Very cool. The next card, Plague Crafter, probably one of the creepier looking arts. Never seen anything about Plague Crafter, but definitely would not want to meet her in a dark alley, I'll tell you what. And then onto probably the most popular card of this entire set, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize, one of the most popular cards to be played in black. A card you run 4 of in Pioneer to this day. Commander, I don't know if Commander actually runs Thoughtseize, but Modern and Pioneer definitely take full advantage of Thoughtseize. So if anything, this set definitely is worth getting the Thoughtseize alone, because not only is it a Thoughtseize, but it's a Thoughtseize in Junji Ito art, which is pretty cool. So really can't complain about that. You do also have it in regular, and this one specifically comes in foil etched. So the foiling for this one is not just a regular rainbow foil. This is a foil etched, probably because they took all of the color out of this. So they figured if they just etched it, it probably would make more sense instead of adding a rainbow sheen to something that is supposed to be so incredibly dark. So this is the Junji Ito Secret Lair. Absolutely so incredibly cool. Very excited for this one. I would say this is definitely a pickup, even if you don't like anime, just for the Thoughtseize alone. But everybody knows, just about everybody in the anime world knows who Junji Ito is, and will be able to appreciate his art in the palm of your hands like this. Speaking of amazing artists in the Japan/anime scene, we have Yoji Shinkawa. Yoji Shinkawa is an artist that many of you may notice from the Metal Gear Solid franchise. So he has worked directly with Hideo Kojima on all of the Metal Gear Solid stuff. Well, I think it's like most of them. I don't know if it's all of them. But he has worked on all of these, and this art is beautiful. He's got his own little secret lair here too. They are Phyrexian Metamorph in this very interesting art here. It's just crazy to see the ins and outs and all the different mechanical abilities. You have Tezzeret the Seeker, another planeswalker being done in this art. I love the little explosion in his hand, or the sun that he's creating in his hand. Very, very cool. And then you have Skullclamp. Skullclamp being, I mean, this card has gotten a reprint at least 4 times in this last 3 months. But Skullclamp is a card, again, used a lot in Commander. And this is a very beautiful version of Skullclamp. So if this is something that you use often in your Commander deck, this may be a pickup for you. You may just want to get this because it's a draw engine for your deck. It is, it gets you cards. It's insanely cheap. I don't know what else to say about this. Skullclamp's been amazing for a long time. And then Solemn Simulacrum getting a reprint here, another artifact creature. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. When it dies, you may draw a card. So gets a little searching out for you, get some ramp out, and then you get to draw a card if it dies. Of course, artifacts in general doing what they do. I just love to appreciate the art in all this. I mean, look at that Skullclamp. I can't get enough of that. That's beautiful. But this one you don't get in foil etch, you just get in regular or in foil. But the cool thing about both this one and the Junji Ito art is that both of them are also available in Japanese. So if you wish to get them in Japanese, you can do that. I'm not sure if that changes the card stock or if that changes something in regards to maybe its foiling. All I know is the art does not change, just the language seems to change. So keep that in mind if that's something you want to look out for. But if you want to get them in English, that's also totally fine. The next three are probably the least exciting next to the Post Malone one, but you have the Space Beyond the Stars. This is all done. Whoa, who is this? Let's see. Jeremy Solomon. Jeremy? It's probably Jeremy Solomon had done this one. A lot of very space-themed stuff. You got Imprisoned in the Moon. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Emrakul, if I recall correctly. Stasis, Prismatic Omen, and Wheel of Sun and Moon. Now, I don't actually think I've heard of any of these cards except Stasis. So, if you run something like this, and this is your first time seeing a reprint of it in a very fancy art, could pick it up, but entirely up to you. Then, of course, the Weirdest Pets in the Multiverse. This is a lot of cards that existed with, pets in them, essentially. And this artist had just made them very weird. So Laboratory Maniacs, Stitcher's Supplier, Beast Whisperer getting a reprint in here, Vizier of the Menagerie, and Wood Elves. Pretty much all of them just having these creepy little creatures on them with a bunch of teeth. I love that this one is just a tiny little dog holding a zombie's foot that is kind of funny, considering all these other ones are like ugly, but this one is just a cute little dog. So thank you to Omar Ryan's art. Omar Ryan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for your fantastic art. If this is something you want to pick up, you can also pick this one up too. $29.99 for the non-foil and $39.99 for the foil. And then, of course, the final one, which only comes in Galaxy Foil and is going for $50 right now. And that is the Totally Spaced Out Galaxy Foil Edition. And these are 4 land cards that some of you may be familiar with, such as Fabled Passage or Strip Mine. These are all going to be Galaxy Foil, much like with the Infinity cards that you see. These are all going to be Galaxy Foil. And it's the only way they come is Galaxy Foil. So having this Fabled Passage in Galaxy Foil might be pretty neat. That does look really, really cool. I mean, a Galaxy Foil Fabled Passage, I don't know why I wouldn't want that. You do also have Command Beacon, right? Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. This is a way for you to cheat out your commander through past land tax. And Ash Baron is just a basic land cycling 1, and you have add colorless, right? So these are all there, and you can find every single one of them on this, the Magic secretlair.wizards.com/US is where you can find them here, and you can find out all of their pricing. So essentially, if you're getting the foil version, it's going to be like $10 more expensive than the non-foil version. And again, you do have some of these cards that are available in Japanese, such as the Junji Ito art. So if you would prefer to have this card in Japanese as opposed to English, you can always go ahead and find these here as well. But that's pretty much it. That is the entirety of the Secret Lair Superdrop. Now, I do want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that when the Secret Drop ends, well, it probably won't end very soon, right? It said 27 days or something until this ends. But remember that as far as Secret Lairs go, make sure to check out this video that we have here on the channel. That is going to be talking about the 30th anniversary Secret Lair countdown calendar that you may want to get your hands on. It is a limited product, and it is a Secret Lair product. And we went over it in that video there. Feel free to check it out. But that will go ahead and drop November 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that will be up and will probably be sold out by the time that you even remember that it is actually up and running. So make sure to get the notifications from the Secret Lair or a newsletter if there is one. I've had a lot of people asking me whether or not there's a newsletter. I don't think there is, but sign up for those notifications And that way you can know, in case there's a early buy time for that secret lair, you can always go ahead and check in for that. But until then, you can always feel free to check out any of these secret lairs that had just come out. They will be available for pre-order for pretty much the rest of this month and a decent amount into next month. So you have some time to think about what you want. If you want to get all of them, you can buy the individual bundles. If you don't want to buy all of them, you can just purchase the ones you want. If you don't want to buy an entire set of secret lairs and you just want to buy one of the cards, like the Thoughtseize, you can just wait until they're on the secondary market and possibly get them for 3 times the price. So hopefully you guys know what you're going to do. You're going to know what you're going to want to pick out for your gifts. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this Superdrop. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I love the Junji Ito collaboration. I think that's very, very cool. And the Warhammer stuff is also super fantastic. I'm very, very happy to see that how good those Age of Sigmar cards are. Very, very interesting. But let me know in the comments down below what ones you guys are going to get. And while you're down there leaving that comment, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. You can also check the description for a link to our Patreon. If you wanted to join any of our Patreon stuff, that always helps the channel. It's not necessary, but I do have some goodies for you guys as you progress in tiers if you want to progress in them, but any little bit helps, and I am always very, very grateful. So thank you all so much again, and I will see you all real soon. Nerd out.